Okay, so welcome again to Alchemy Book Club. Yeah, this is the first one of hopefully many. The book I've chosen today is The Alchemist, and the reason why I've chose this book is because I think it's a great book for an individual to help personally build themselves. It's got some great viewpoints on there. I don't want to give away too much at this point, but what I will say is that it's got love, it's got religion, it's got perseverance, it's got a lot. The book, you know, it's got a lot, right? So it's called The Alchemist, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna let the book speak for itself. Now, it's a long audio book, guys, right? It's a long audio book of 4 hours. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play for about 30 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna pause, right? And then we're gonna have a little, everybody wanna go and get a drink, come back. You understand what I'm saying to you? A little talk, what do you think of the book so far? And then we're gonna go back into the book. It's 4 hours long, right? So hopefully we can keep you guys' minds tapped in for that amount of time. If not, hopefully all you guys have got the message. So if you got the message has actually got the link of the book in it. So anything that you guys missed today, you could, what's the name? And for those who have read it already, you know, you guys can turn around and say, well, you can give your viewpoints because you know already, right? But again, I just want to welcome all of you. I'm sorry to the ones who said that they wanted to do the meeting, because I did plan to do the meeting at the bar today. But due to certain circumstances, I decided not to do the first one at the bar. We're going to do the first one online, and next time you guys will have a chance to come together and we will make it happen. Again, I would like to welcome everybody who's here. If you'd like to shout out your name, shout out your name and introduce yourself. The floor's open to the masses.
Hi, I'm Davina Divine. Nice to meet you all.
Lovely to see you, Eddie.
Hi, I'm Sade. Nice to meet everyone.
Hi, Sade. Lovely to meet you.
Hi, I'm Courtney. Nice to meet you.
Beautiful voices, ladies. Beautiful voices. Thank you very much for everybody who's joined in.
Hi, I'm Michaela, and this is Baby Azaria, so I won't really be on screen, but I'm still listening.
Lovely, lovely. Congratulations on Baby Azaria, cuz. Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Thank you.
Congratulations, cuz.
I got my own little Azaria over here hiding in the background. My daughter's sitting in the background waiting for the book to start. She's gonna be listening to you, get me? All right. Anybody else want to introduce themselves?
Yeah, my name is Rastafari, bless. Ras, yeah. Blessed love to her.
Blessed love, King. And Ras Crosdale ain't in the UK, you know. Ras Crosdale some miles away. Where you right now?
New York, man. New York,
New York. See it there?
You need, man.
All right.
Yeah, man. Blessed.
Blessed love.
Greetings. My name is Rasikila Kadan. Blessed love to everyone.
Blessed love, cuz. Thank you very much for coming.
Hi, bro.
Yes, cuz. Yes, sister.
This is a next man. He writes his own books and things like that. So, you know, no doubt one of the book reviews will definitely be on Akila Kadan. You understand what I'm saying to you? All right. So, you guys, you ready to get into it? Has anybody, let me ask a question. Has anybody actually read this book before?
I have.
Hi, nice to meet you, Idem. My name is Jotich. Hi, cousins.
Yes, sir.
Rastafari, Rascostal. Been a long time.
Who said that they have read the book? Who said that they have read?
Courtney.
Courtney. Okay, Courtney. When you read the book, how did you find the book first? And then, as in, how do you come across the book? And then, how did you find the book?
Okay, so I've been in a bit of a transitional period for a few years now. So I came across the book while I was just trying to find self and just figure out a few mind state things and just be on more of a higher vibration. So it was one of those ones. I was searching for all sorts of books, but this one actually not only drew to my attention, I actually read it. Because there's a lot of books I've picked up that are still sitting on the bookcase.
Oh,
But I
agree.
think it was about what made me enjoy it more, that it wasn't making it like it was just telling me what to do. It was like storytelling that brought out my own journey. So I'll leave it at that.
Beautiful, beautiful. I agree with all of the words that you've just said. I've got a big library out there, and I will pick up books and I'll start reading them, and I'll get halfway through and I'll put it down and don't go back to it for a month or 6 months sometimes, and they're just catching dust, right?
Exactly.
In building my library was the same thing for myself. I had to go and search. I was soul searching. I needed to get answers. Just the surface stuff that I was getting wasn't feeding me enough, right? So again, you come across, while you're buying your books, you come across titles that people are saying, look, you have to read this book, even if it's once in your lifetime. So
yeah, exactly.
This book for me, when I read it, back to when I've listened to it as an audio book, maybe the audio book turns it more like into a cartoon in your head or something, right? It gave all of those aspects of life, and he's wrapped it up in such a sweet way that he's included everybody.
Exactly.
If you're Muslim, he's included you. If you're Christian, he's included you. He put Melchizedek in there so the Rasta man then go recognize him.
Exactly.
There's so much that the man's wrapped in it. You understand what I'm saying to you? And I don't want to give away too much because many might not have read it. But we're going to jump into the book. And then, like I said, half an hour in, I will turn around and I'll take a pause. And then we'll come back to talking. So I understand, especially for those who have read it already, if you decided, well, it's time for me to do the washing up now. Or so I say to you, jump back into the debate, Pete, and let us talk. But again, I just want to thank everybody who's jumped in so far. There was 1 or 2 people who did jump in earlier and I can't see them now, but hopefully they'll get back in a minute. Yeah, man, I just thank you very much for the joining of souls. Yeah. With information or knowledge, it brings power. And this is the point of me doing this book club. Okay? So welcome all again.
No, sorry, I don't cut you, Devo. I think this is unfair, yeah? Because who gave me the book, yeah? I don't know why. Yeah, well, I know why, but at the time when little cousin Benny gave me the book, yeah, he's like, cuz, you need to read this book. So he's the one who introduced me to Paulo Coelho initially. But imagine, them times I'm flying to Montpellier doing shows. So there's this little spot in Montpellier where if you go and sit at this spot, you can build so much inspiration. And that's what that book done for me. It's like, raw, this Brazilian man come all the way over to the south of France, to this spot where I'm sitting right now, and magical things happen. Like, if you know the songs that was created in them times, and even the energy that was created, what Ben, through me and Ben, our reasoning, our levels, because both of us have now divulged into this book. It's like, yeah, man, I'm just proud to see who's on here, because I can see all these level mindsets, and I can get to see why their mindsets are so level, because they've hit up these books. So love all of you.
Okay. All right. So not to cut it long or cut it short, but again, I want to welcome everybody who's turned around to come in. I'm going to play half an hour of the book, and then we're going to stop and we will do a little bit of questions and debating, and then we'll play another half an hour of the book, and we'll do a little question and debating. And as long as we keep the minds together, then we will finish the book today. If not, if we don't finish the book today, we will hopefully get at the end of the meeting and decide whether we want to do this more than once a month, right? Another thing, I would like individuals to, even if it's the audio book or a downloaded book, to get these books for themselves so that they've got them to go back on. Where possible, I will send out the free link like I've done with this one. But it's not always possible to have the free link, right? So I would like you guys to acquire these books so that you've got them in your arsenal so you can go back to them to give you power, right? So again, is there anybody who hasn't introduced themselves yet before I start this book?
Yeah, Daryl. Blessed everybody.
Blessed love, Daryl.
Yes, King.
Anna. All right. Well, we're going to turn around and we're going to get this going. And again, I just want to thank you all. Yeah, I want to thank you all who's made it into the Zoom today. Like I said, this is going to be a monthly meeting where we are allowed to come together in my building. But many may not be able to make it to the physical location. So we'll always have the Zoom running anyway, okay? So again, thank you very much. And now let's get this book running.
The alchemist picked up a book that someone in the caravan had brought. Leafing through the pages, he found a story about Narcissus. The alchemist knew the legend of Narcissus, a youth who knelt daily
Are you
beside
guys
a
seeing the
lake to
visuals?
contemplate his own beauty. He was so
Yeah.
fascinated with himself that one morning he fell into
Feel
the
free,
lake and
feel
drowned.
free to mute yourself, guys.
At the spot where he fell, a flower was born, which was called the Narcissus. But this was not how the author of the book ended the story. He said that when Narcissus died, the goddesses of the forest appeared and found the lake, which had been fresh water, transformed into a lake of salty tears. "Why do you weep?" the goddesses asked. "I weep for Narcissus," the lake replied. "Ah, it is no surprise that you weep for Narcissus," they said, "for though we always pursued him in the forest, you alone could contemplate his beauty close at hand." "But was Narcissus beautiful?" the lake asked. "Who better than you to know that?" the goddesses said in wonder. "After all, it was by your banks that he knelt each day to contemplate himself." The lake was silent for some time. Finally it said, "I weep for Narcissus, but I never noticed that Narcissus was beautiful. I weep because each time he knelt beside my banks, I could see in the depths of his eyes my own beauty reflected." What a lovely story, the alchemist thought. The boy's name was Santiago. Dusk was falling as the boy arrived with his herd at an abandoned church. The roof had fallen in long ago, and an enormous sycamore had grown on the spot where the sacristy had once stood.
Okay. So does anybody want to give their viewpoint of what the book is saying so far, or summary?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to give a summary of the book so far?
All right. So what I thought was interesting is that it says the simple things in life are the most extraordinary.
Mhm.
You know, and then it said it's but I want an example of that, like from somebody else to try to expand upon. I know, and then put it in relation to the personal
Okay,
legend being in Egypt. That's
I'll break that one. I'll break that one down in one word: breath. Breathing.
right.
The most simple things, but it's the most extraordinary. If we don't do that, it's over. The baby comes out. The baby has to learn it instantly.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Facts.
So yeah, that's just an example from me. That's just an example from me. Anybody else want to alliterate on this?
I'm just going to say that I'm still trying to grasp what the meaning behind the book is, all the first part. So I haven't got anything to add yet. I'm just still trying to, so that's just what I wanted to say, yeah.
Okay, so again, a lot of us are cheating in it because a lot of us have read the book already. So this is our second and our third time to go back at this book. So it's like when you're going back over, again, even by using the audio book makes it almost visual, right? So when you're reading it, you will skip through because you're speed reading. So you kind of skip through certain points. But to me so far, right, this young boy has got a dream to travel. He's traveled doing farming work for his father. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And now he's had a dream that he's going to find a treasure, right? He's happened to go down the road on his daily mission for his dad, and he ended up meeting this gypsy woman who's told him, well, I can tell you how to find your dream, how to solve your dream. He's come forward and now he's met this king. He thought this king was a peasant. So that's what I'm saying to you. But this king has told him, you know, you've got to follow your dream. Yeah, your purpose, sorry. You got to know your purpose and you got to follow your purpose. So that's as far as we've got up to now, breaking it down. All will come into place by the time we get to the end of the book. So I don't want to skip forward and start giving you more information than has actually happened. But like I said, this book was chosen because it was a very, how can I say, you know, like The Secret. Have you heard of The Secret? Or the
100%.
or the law of attraction? Right. So it's that kind of concept within a book, but it's turned around and given, it's coming from, the writer's very smart, because by the end of the book, like I said, I don't want to give you up too much, he's included everybody. So anybody who thought, nah, I can't listen to this book because this book is whatever, it includes them, right? So again, anybody else, I like to talk too much. Anybody else want to jump in and say something?
Greetings.
Blessed love, blessed love, blessed love.
Yes, I've just joined your Zoom. I've just joined, so I don't know how far. What time did you start, by the way?
All right, so I opened the meeting at 6:45.
So what time is it now?
The book's only gone for 30 minutes so far. That's it.
Oh, because I saw the book this morning and I started to listen and I couldn't stop. I've sort of from I heard Melchizedek, I got really interested and I'm kind of reached. They've gone through the desert and he's seen the girl.
Yeah, man.
He loves one
Yeah,
girl.
Sorry. Spoiler.
Sorry.
No, she got excited.
Let me shut up and listen. Let me shut up and
Yeah,
listen.
sis got excited. Sis got very excited.
Like I said,
I love you already.
a lot of us have cheated, because even with the link, when I sent out the original invite before I sent the Zoom link out, I sent it out with the book. So a lot of people have taken in or had the opportunity to take in the book who haven't read the book. But we're walking in half-hour interludes, so we're only half-hour in so far, right? So we're not gonna try and give away too much and spoil the book for nobody else. But where we are is he's just met the king. Okay, so that helps you out, Maxine. So
Okay.
if you'd like to give anything on your views before or up to when he's met the king, yeah, then you're good to go. You understand? Anything else is not allowed yet.
I would like to ask, what does what's it called again?
Alchemy.
Yeah, what does that really mean?
All right, so my business is actually called Alchemy, right? As you can see on my shirt over here, right? And our slogan is the art of fusion, right? So you get certain elements, you put them together, and then that is your pot of gold. So everybody who talks about an alchemist, what an alchemist is famous for is turning base metal into gold, right? But that's not what an alchemist is about. He understands life. He understands the vibrations of life, right? So the changing into gold is a limited thing for him. He does that just to get by every now and again. All right, I got to pay off a man, so I'll do that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's not what it's really about. And that is the beauty about this book as well, because a lot of people who read this book, right, and he even writes about them people later on in the book, right? A lot of people reading this book thinking, well, you're just going to learn how to turn metal into gold. No, you make gold out of everything. There's everything in front of you that you see right now. The man who made that TV, he's making his gold out of building that TV. You know, we're using computers right now, the phone. Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. The guy who's built that, he done his alchemy to build that, and now you're buying it and he's getting his gold.
I get it now.
Right?
I get it.
Okay, so like I said, my slogan for my business is the art of fusion. If you technically type it in, it might tell you about, like I said, turning the base metals into gold, but it's a lot deeper than that.
Yeah, I think so. And I also like the beginning when was whoever it was that was looking into the water and
Nasty. And this is what I'm
no,
telling you. When you look at this book, right? This book tricks you from the beginning. Because when it starts telling you about narcissists and all of these things, then now you're going into some Greek mythology and all kind of stuff. So you think you're going that way, but then it sends you somewhere.
that's right.
Let me just clap my hand for the book.
Yeah, clap for real.
All right. So anybody else want to drop a little word in before we start back the next half an hour?
I feel like the book reads to people in different ways depending on where you are. Because I feel like the first time I read it, I wasn't ready for some of the messages through the story. And I probably read it more like a story, to be honest. And there was only certain areas within the book that kind of did a light bulb moment for me or made me relate to it from a reality point of view. But then by the time I'd got to maybe the third time of reading it and the season that I was in as a human, there was so much more that was coming to me like, yo, like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I feel like maybe just, I can't remember, I think it might have been Sade that said it's her first time. I feel like it's like going to those movies sometimes, a movie that you watch from way back. And then when you watch it now as a grown-up that's gone through things, you're like, yo, I didn't even clock that before. But the first time you watched it, you didn't see that. I feel like that's what this book might do for people, depending on where your mind state is in your season.
Right. I think if you read the book with a closed mind, like you said, it's another storybook and it's going from left to right. So you're unable to pick it up. And that's why another thing why the audio book is quite good as well, because it allows you to have that visual, put your own visual picture to the story and take more of an understanding of what's going on. I know for me personally, I'll be reading the book and just because I don't want to stop reading the book, I start speed reading. So when I'm speed reading, I've missed out the emphasis. He put that full stop there for a reason. You understand what I'm saying? That comma was there to just give you the emphasis. You understand what I'm saying to you? So with the audio book, it's definitely allows you now to, like I said, put more of a visual picture on it. But as a book of a person who studies things, do you understand what I'm saying to you? Like I put in the law of attraction, you know, the secret, little things like this. When you look on it on these bases, you find out like, raw, all of these books have got significant meaning. And this guy has turned around and crammed it in a nutshell. But it's, again, because there's so much in there, you have to be able to prize it open, right? So if you're on a spiritual journey, this book's gonna walk with you on a spiritual journey. If you're on a journey of manifestation, this book is gonna help you on the journey of manifestation. If you're somebody who constantly thinking like, oh, should I? Bro, hang on a minute. The reason why you're thinking should I is because you're supposed to. That's your message coming to you. Like, yo,
Yeah.
you should.
That fight or flight.
Right. Again, I believe it's better to die have tried than die never trying. You understand what I'm saying to you? But this now, it puts in the point that, no, it's not just your fault. This is your will. This is your goal. This is your purpose. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't want to slip too far because I know too much information. So we're going to jump back in the book. And again, thank you very much to everybody who has joined in so far. I will remute everybody's mics and let's carry on. And I'll speak to you again in 30 minutes.
So hold on. Shall I just go back to where I left off and...
No. Follow the story with us, and then when we pause,
I'll follow it with you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on the screen, and
okay.
you just follow with us, and then when it gets to the next point, you know, if you've heard it already, you're gonna get pieces that you missed out. You understand what I'm saying? You're gonna be like,
yeah, all right.
There, right? And then we'll talk again in 30 minutes, yeah. And I just want one more time to thank every single body who's involved today. You understand what I'm saying to you? And the next one we'll be doing, there will be an option for ones to meet up in person at my building, but today I decided to cancel that. All right, so you just have to forgive me, but we're doing it this way around this time. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna put everybody on mute and we're gonna go back to the book, yeah? All right, lesson.
legend is a person's only real obligation. All things are one. And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. They were both silent for a time, observing the plaza and the townspeople. It was the old man who spoke first. Why do you tend a flock of sheep? Because I like to travel. The old man pointed to a baker standing in his shop window at one corner of the plaza. When he was a child, that man wanted to travel too. But he decided first to buy his bakery and put some money aside. When he's an old man, he's going to spend a month in Africa. He never realized that people are capable at any time of their life of doing what they dream of. He should have decided to become a shepherd, boys. Well, he's thought about that, the old man said. But bakers are more important people than shepherds. Bakers have homes, while shepherds sleep out in the open. Parents would rather see their children marry bakers than shepherds. The boy felt a pang in his heart, thinking about the merchant's daughter. There was surely a baker in her town. The old man continued. In the long run, what people think about shepherds and bakers becomes more important for them than their own personal legends. The old man leafed through the book and fell to reading a page he came to. The boy waited, and then interrupted the old man just as he himself had been interrupted. Why are you telling me all this? Because you are trying to realize your personal legend. You are at the point where you are about to give it all up. And that's when you always appear on the scene. Not always in this way, but I always appear in one form or another. Sometimes I appear in the form of a solution or a good idea.
Second half an hour.
Let me just get in quickly and just ask some quick things. Like, you see the oil in the spoon, it reminded me of the egg and spoon race. How is he supposed to see everything around as well as keep the oil in the spoon?
Key to that, right, is again, it's a trick, right? So when the man told him, keep an eye on the oil, don't lose the oil under no circumstances, the man stayed focused on the oil. That's why I wrote focused in the chat at that point. The man made him keep focus. But then the man said, hang on a minute, look, if you keep him focused on that, how are you going to see all the beauty? You run around and you look on the beauty, what happened? You lost your focus. Again now, same thing when he met this little guy on the road. He turned around, you see this little guy, he's lost focus.
That's right.
He's lost focus. Now,
the one that took his money.
Yeah, he's lost focus.
Oh, like Jimmy Cliff.
Yeah, and by losing focus, again, it makes him doubt his dream. He's ready to turn around. I'm gonna sell the monkey and the two little thing there to say yes and no, and he's gonna sell them now to go home. You understand what I'm saying? He's losing he lost his focus. But at that point, what's he done now? He's gone back to his signs. So the signs that he's got to handle his omens, his two little omens, and he's asked the question, is the king's blessing still with me? He said, yes. He said, yes. Then when he asks for the treasure now, if you're going to find treasure, the two things dropped out the bag. They dropped out the bag. They dropped out the bag because it depends on what you're going to do whether you find your treasure or not. If you become like that man there now and you turn your back just 2 stone before you get to the treasure, what's going to happen? You know what I'm saying to the king? What did the king do at that time? He had to turn himself into a stone to bug the man. Something like it made the man ignorant till he pick it up and he dash it. And when he dash it, he bust out, he said, oh, right, it's really Dessa. You understand what I mean? So to this point here, for my breakdown, it's like we're here existing. no focus, no direction, no, and then we cry that we haven't got what we want, right? So this is saying, get focus, find what it is that you want, and understand you're gonna have to go through hell and water before you even get to realize your dream. But don't give up focus. Yeah. So this is. Sorry.
How many pages? How many pages is the book?
Oh God, come on.
It's,
See, this is a book club. See, I have the book to hand.
yeah,
how
because
many
you know
pages?
what? Because sometimes I can't hear it. So because I'm reading it as well, I don't need to worry about when the volume goes up and down because I'm just on the right page. I think it's about, hold on, my lovely. So we go to about 153. And then there's a bit after that, but it's not numbered. It's like answering questions and stuff like that, because you know you get
yeah, it's not that big. So
but
yeah,
we're already at page 42.
Okay.
So we're going through it quite nicely.
And in audiobook terms, it's 4 hours. So it's still a lot.
Wow.
It doesn't feel like it should be 4 hours, for real.
Right, it's 4 hours. So
okay.
what happens is that when we're reading, like we were saying before, you might read it over a month, you might read it over a week, you might read it over, and when you do speed read it like this, where it should take you 4 hours, it might only take you 3 hours because you've gone through it so fast. You just read the words, you didn't digest it. Do you understand what I mean? So again, the reason why I said, well, every half an hour we'll do a stop and a pause. And then if we say, okay, we'll come back to it later on because the night's getting too late, then we can do so. But if not, we will just, we'll stop a pause and have to deliberate and see how you guys feel. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else want to add anything before we go back into the next side?
I feel like there was a lot of seeds in this one. There was a lot of seeds in this one, whether it was about like just distractions, kind of like what you said about focus, not giving up, the negative thoughts that come into play and how we conquer those to keep pushing through for our purpose. I feel like there was a lot of little seeds in this part.
I love that. I love that. I couldn't put that better myself. But the more I hear it, the more I read it, the more, do you understand what I'm saying to you, the more it opens up that, yeah.
Definitely.
So. Anybody else? All right. Well, we're gonna get back into it then. From the OBRC got that to say, we're gonna get back into it. I'll speak to you back in half an hour, guys.
Okay.
All right, Debo, Mummy's listening now, and there's solidity because we're now officially listening attentively, man. So,
yeah, but that's good. That's good. And Mummy's got the link on her phone, so anything she's missed, she'll be able to get on.
Yeah, I'm gonna
it's
do
beautiful.
that.
It's beautiful that you've gone to the house there, and you brought Mummy in on the thing. You understand what I'm saying?
Just sitting there thinking, how come I didn't bust Mummy on this book from before? But our lives are busy, man. Books are the last thing.
What I tell you the truth is that even sometimes when you give something to somebody, it sits down until the right timing. By coming together and saying that, oh, today is the time, it just makes it the right timing to who can make it. You understand what I mean? But again, the seed in the way how I'm trying to do the different books is that what is available for free posting, I'll post the link with it. I advise everybody to actually buy the books to add to their library.
What you're saying is just an incentive. Initially, this is what you're doing, but really you're gonna be going into deep.
There could be 5 of us here 1 week listening to the book, but I've sent it out to 500 people. So who decided to take it? It's the water and the sheep and the water, the cow or the horse to the water. Whoever want to take it in, make them take it in. Who don't want to take it in, hopefully at some point in their life it will come back to them and they'll say, oh, that was the book that Debo was talking about. Let me just kind of take a little reference and
How did you find the book?
How do I find the book?
How did you come across it?
From when me and Darwin and all of them was doing our thing, this was one of the books that we had to have. It was
Right.
one.
How come though? What happened? Because there was that one. Was it one of the ones?
Again, searching for knowledge. When you're searching for knowledge, you know, people will turn around and they will say what has helped to enlighten them over the years. And The Alchemist and The Art of War are two books that are going to be first ones that true people on the structure of knowledge will turn around and think it. And then if you turn around and you go to other stuff now where you know, like we were saying earlier on, the law of attraction, the secret, all of these things, you will understand that everybody's tapped in on this essence. And until you can tap into the essence, you're always falling short. You're
Always, you're at risk. You're at risk of falling short.
Well, I'm not gonna say at risk of falling short, because you're at risk all the time. The world, as much as the world is working in your benefit, there's people who understand the laws that have already conquered all parts of society. So it's working for them more than it's going to work for you, because you haven't got the mathematical equation to even solve it. You understand what I'm saying? But books like these, they give you the mathematical equation.
They unlock those chapters.
Yeah, they give you those. Okay, there's another book that somebody sent me the other day. Sugar. Is it not The Alchemy of Souls? Something of Souls. I'll find the name of the book in a minute and I'll come back to it. But when you turn around and you start going through the book, everything that you already know, the man's saying. But because the man's saying it now, it actually turns on your psyche to say, well, at least give you a slap on the back that the way I was thinking about it was right. Do you understand what I'm saying? So some of these books are going to unlock them bits inside you that, okay, like I said, if you procrastinate them, for instance, we can sit there all day long and think about we're going to take in this book. But if somebody says at 8 o'clock tonight, we're going to take in this book, it's actually going to happen. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So you have to have the thought process. You have to have the thought process, but you have to be able to act on the thought process. So as you know, my latest slogan for myself is dream, plan, act. Without no dream, you've got nothing to plan on. Without no plan, you're planning to fail. And without no action, nothing ain't happening. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So I always set myself certain affirmations that helps me go forward, even when the whole world feels like it's crumbling. And when the world feels like it's crumbling to me, I turn around and I say, do you know what? My man lost his foot the other day. My thing ain't that bad.
Yeah, man.
Auntie can't come out again because Auntie gone to heaven. My thing ain't that bad. That's what I'm saying to you. This world has been sent here. We've been sent to this world for a test. And once our test is over, our ass is free. You get what I'm saying to you? So if death is the worst thing and we get freedom in death,
free mind.
Nothing ain't bad. Nothing ain't bad. It's just something that we got to go through. You know what I'm saying to you? Now, we've got a choice of how we go through it. If we go through it stressful, it's going to be stress. You're going to cry, you're going to shout, you're going to scream, you're going to do all of these things, and nothing ain't going to be fixed. The action is what makes it work, what makes it stop, what makes it, do you understand what I mean? So again, I don't want to lead us too much up and down the road and take us across the borders and all kind of thing. I want to really get back on with the book. But that's just a little bit of my understanding. Yeah.
But he did also say something quite powerful about waking up and just being grateful for waking up. He didn't say it the way I said it. He definitely gave it much better. But it was quite early on in the start of the 30 minutes where he basically said about waking up. I think it's like even what you said about just breathing, knowing that you woke up, being able to breathe. He was absolutely emphasizing that it's the smallest things that are priceless while we're out here trying to work on the things that are maybe materialistic or, you know, all of that stuff.
Listen to me. Sometimes we're always looking forward, innit? Because our goal is to go forward, right? So we're always looking forward, but by looking forward, sometimes we don't see what's right here.
Yeah.
We don't see what's right here.
It's
What
true.
what this book comes to at the end is that we have to have an understanding. We have to take time to listen to the language that is being sent to us by the universe. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because it's not just humans are speaking. It's not just you know, everything has its voice. Everything is a sign. Everything is a warning or a blessing or a guidance or a curse. You understand what I'm saying to you? But we have to be able to read into that.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So welcome. Who I don't know who just jumped in. Yeah. Ola. Welcome. Welcome. We're going to jump back into the next part of the book now. We're stopping every 30 minutes for who don't know. And we'll have a little debate and see how that part of the 30 minutes stood out to you. And then at the end, we'll have a little debate, even though we might have to switch it to the next thing. I know it's going to be long. But yeah, thank you again, everybody who has joined so far. And yeah, let the book continue.
It was a new one. After all, what he had always wanted was just that, to know new places. Even if he never got to the pyramids, he'd already travelled farther than any shepherd he knew. Oh, if only they knew how different things are, just 2 hours by ship from where they are, he thought. Although his new world at the moment was just an empty marketplace, he had already seen it when it was teeming with life, and he would never forget it. He remembered the sword. Hurt him a bit to think about it, but he'd never seen one like it before. As he mused about these things, he realized that he had to choose between thinking of himself as the poor victim of a thief and as an adventurer in quest of his treasure. I'm an adventurer looking for treasure, he said. He was shaken into wakefulness by someone. He'd fallen asleep in the middle of the marketplace, and life in the plaza was about to resume. Looking around, he saw his sheep and then realized that he was in a new world. But instead of being saddened, he was happy. He no longer had to seek out food and water for the sheep. He could go in search of his treasure instead. He had not a cent in his pocket, but he had faith. He had decided the night before that he would be as much an adventurer as the ones he had admired in books. He walked slowly through the marketplace. The merchants were assembling their stalls, and the boy helped a candy seller to do his. The candy seller had a smile on his face. He was happy, aware of what his life was about, and ready to begin a day's work. His smile reminded the boy of the old man, the mysterious old king he had met. This candy merchant isn't making candy so that later he can travel or marry a shopkeeper's daughter. He's doing it because it's what he wants to do, thought the boy. He realized that he could do the same thing the old man had done, sense whether a person was near to or far from his personal legend, just by looking up. It's easy, and yet I've never done it before, he thought.
Yeah.
Okay. What have you guys got out of that part?
I feel like the ending part was basically telling you to like sometimes stop and take note of what's happening around you. Because obviously you can get excited about what you're going towards, or you could be concentrating on what you're going towards, but you're not appreciating what's happening. Like you said about just stopping and taking the desert.
And coming up to that part, what do you think about the whole journey? So from his, basically we started from when he met the Englishman, right? So
Yeah.
What's come to light since that?
Oh, about his realization about the sheep.
There's many points. I just want to hear you guys viewpoints at the moment. So taking it back from when the Englishman from when he's met the Englishman to now where he's just about to go into the oasis. What do you think structure-wise has happened? What is the enlightenment for him? What is the,
You know what, actually? I feel like the desert, yeah, is when you get to actually slow down. You know, you don't get to slow down. You're too busy working or concentrating on stuff. I feel like when you get to slow down, meditate, do things like that, you actually become in tune with your subconscious, and you start realizing certain things. Maybe.
Okay. So funny that you said that. Through that part of the book, I was doing my breathing exercises, right? So
Okay.
meditation wise, right? So you know, taking time to breathe is very important. The way how you breathe.
Yeah.
And if anybody does meditation, you'll find that breathing becomes like almost difficult because you're trying to do it you're trying to do it to get, you know, you understand what I'm saying? You're trying to
Like
do
holistic way.
Yeah, you're trying to do suck it down to the bottom of your belly.
Yeah, do your fire breathing.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
So it's something that we take for granted is actually quite difficult, and it's all on the meditation. You understand what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
if you find it in your subconscious, you do it naturally without having to think about it. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? But it's when it's on the forefront of your brain now, it's becomes a little difficult.
Yeah, that's true.
So all right, we're in now. That's 2 hours into the book. So I don't want to kill you guys on the one day. I would finish the book.
Yeah.
But I have to put it out to the floor. Do you guys want to do this in 2 parts? Or would you just like to continue and then we see who lasts?
I'm open to the what's it called? The most votes.
Okay.
Count me in. I don't need to sit on the fence, but count me in. I'm backing whichever one you need.
Okay. Anybody else want to actually put a vote instead of just agreeing? I don't mind. I'll just press play. Again, listening to it. There's little bits that stand out more every time when you meet the book.
Exactly.
So listening to it, I'm quite going through. You know, so
I've never read it with the book. I've never listened to it while reading the book, so I'm enjoying it. As long as I've got my spliff, I'm good.
Okay. All right then. Well, we're gonna jump back in. And yeah, thank you very much for everybody who's lasted this long. We'll do the next part and then we'll speak again in half an hour.
Thank you.
And the children of the oasis were bursting with excitement at the arrival of the strangers. The alchemist saw the tribal chiefs greet the leader of the caravan and converse with him at length. But none of that mattered to the alchemist. He'd already seen many people come and go, and the desert remained as it was. He'd seen kings and beggars walking the desert sands. The dunes were changed constantly by the wind, yet these were the same sands he had known since he was a child. He always enjoyed seeing the happiness that the travelers experienced when, after weeks of yellow sand and blue sky, they first saw the green of the date paths.
He's staying in the oasis. Him and the Englishman now are looking at the alchemist. So he wants to also help the Englishman achieve his goal. You know, at this point he's found out that, or he's been told that when you really want something, the whole universe will work with you so that you can get what you want, right? So he's playing his part of the universe to help the Englishman. Anyway, the alchemist also got a premonition that there's somebody gonna come to the oasis who he has to give some knowledge and who he has to help. So the alchemist is awaiting the arrival of the Englishman and the young boy. While the young boy is there, helping the Englishman out, he is the only one who can speak, or he can speak better Arabic. So he's the one who's been sent forward to ask questions to try and find out where the alchemist is. In his search, he learned a couple more lessons. When you read the book, you will learn them. But
he eventually meets a young lady and falls in love with her. And from the point he falls in love with her, again, he's ready to give up on his dream. Give up on his dream. But he has another dream. And in this dream, he learns that there's some warlords about to try and take over the oasis. And he ends up having to tell the tribal leaders, and the tribal leaders put it on him and say, yo, if your dream is true, you get 1 piece of gold for every man that raids the village. If your dream is a lie, then these weapons will go rusty and dirty and they won't be able to work good, so they'll be used on you. Imagine that. Imagine that. So he's left the tribal leaders now thinking, well, do you know what? Tomorrow's a good day to die as any. As long as he's done it by doing his dream on the way, trying to achieve what he's supposed to, he's going to die happy. On the way back to his camp, he's rode up on by a man in full black on a horse, waving a sword. And he thinks he's about to die. He thinks he's about to die. The man asks him a question. Who is he to read these signs? And he says, I am me. The sign was said to me, so I explained it, and no matter how much of you lot there are, it's not going to go as easy as you thought it was. So the man turned around and laughed. And he says, if you survive tomorrow, you find yourself in any trouble, ride south. This was the alchemist. Come to say, check the little boy out to see if he's the right one he's supposed to help. Anyway, the next night, the village was attacked for true, but they were ready, so they surrounded the attackers, and the young man got his payment, but he still done what? He rode south to meet this man. The alchemist said now he would take him across the desert to his dream. He said to him that he's a rich man now and he can stay where he is, but in a certain amount of time he will be uncomfortable with the fact that he didn't follow his dream. So he's going to help him to get to Egypt. Going through the desert, the alchemist and the young man were attacked and captured by some soldiers. And the alchemist, thinking on his feet, when they was asked who they are, he said they're just travelling men. And they said, what are they doing in that town? And he said, well, boy, he's just come to pay you some gold so that you can do your thing. So you can be stronger. So the rebels took the man's gold and said, yeah, how we know this is a true story? He said, well, that man's also a magician. He can do great things. He can turn himself into the wind. Turn himself into the wind, said the top soldier boy. All right, you have 4 days to turn yourself into the wind. The young boy and the alchemist got put into a tent. As soon as they was on there, and the young boy said, why did you give them all my money? The alchemist said, it's very little times that money can save a life. He said, well, he ain't saved our life. He's only given us 4 days. You turned around and told him I could turn myself into the wind, and I can't turn myself into the wind. He said, well, you got 4 days to find out how to turn yourself into the wind. Now, I've given you a long explanation without giving you no viewpoints on the story. But the youth has learned a lot of things. He's learned that everything has a soul. He's learned that you can talk to things individually. The wind, the stars, the sun, the rain, the snow. That's what I'm saying. So this is the point where this comes very apparent. So the first thing the boy does is he goes and he talks to the wind. He says to the wind, wind, all powerful wind, I need you to do something for me. I need you to teach me how to turn me into you. Turn you into the wind. He said, No, sorry. He went to the sand first. He went to the sand because they direct the wind through the dunes. He went to the sand and he said to the sand, turn me into the wind. So I said, turn you into the wind? I can't turn you into the wind. You want to turn into the wind, you better go and ask the wind. And the wind turned around. The wind said, well, I can do most powerful things. But I can't turn you into the wind. You better go and ask the sun. The sun claims to be all wise. He knows everything. He's the most. Ask the sun. He asked the sun, and the sun was a bit embarrassed. Because in truth, the sun thought he was the top boy. He knew everything. But then he said, ask the one who writes it all. And this time, he's aggravated the sand dunes, the wind, even the sun, and created a mad storm between the three of them down there. And he asked the hand that beat, no. When it got time to ask the one who writes it all, he decided not to ask at all, but to have a little prayer. And he didn't pray to be the wind. Anyway, all the time the boy was doing this, the wind was going crazy. The people in the thing they were all, this needs to stop. This is a proper storm going on. So when the storm subsides, where the boy was standing all the time, he was no longer standing there. He was standing over one of their top soldiers, who is now buried in the wind. So they released them, both of them, the alchemist and the top soldier, were very, how can we say, proud in a sense of what they've just witnessed. Now, the alchemist and the boy are on their way again. And the alchemist takes him to a place, it's a little monastery, and he asks the priest to get him some lead. And the priest comes back with the lead. He scrapes off a piece of his ting and turns the lead into gold. And he breaks it into 4 parts. He gives 1 part to the boy and says, this is for what you've lost, for what we paid the guards. And for what he pays the priest. Pays the priest, and he says, this is for your good work and the charity that you do. And the priest says, oh, this is too much. And the alchemist turns around and says, never you say that, because next time, God may give you less. So he turns around to the boy and he gives him a quarter. And he says, this is for you, for what you have lost. Then he puts a quarter away for himself. And he says, this is for my travel back, because there's still war going on and anything can happen. And in the last quarter, he gives it back to the priest. And he said, this is for the boy on his return. He turns around to the boy and says, why? And he says, well, they say the same thing never happens twice. But if it does happen twice, it surely will happen a third time. So, you lost everything in the market. And the boy ran away with your things. Then you just built back everything and you lost everything to the tribesmen. So, there's no doubt you're going to lose that one day. So this is here for you on the way back. Anyway, pats the boy on his back and he's saying 3 miles that way are the pyramids. The boy gets to the pyramids and he says, I think he also tells him how he's going to find it. Wherever his tears drop, it will be, that's where he'll find his treasure. So he turns around and he goes over the dunes and eventually he can see the pyramids. A lot of realization comes into play here as well. The crystal solar told him that he could build the pyramids in his back garden. Well, looking at these pyramids, he definitely couldn't build them in his back garden. The crystal man also admitted to himself that he would never follow his dream, but he knew the boy would follow his dream. Anyway, he starts digging with his hands frantically, digging. And he keeps on going, but he can't find nothing. Eventually, he hears some footsteps in the background. Some little rubber man them. I said, oh, yo, what are you doing there? I said, nothing. I said, nothing. Start beating him. And they start beating him and rub him now to see that he's got gold. He said, oh, you must be searching for more gold. Dig down more. After they make him dig till he can't dig till his hand, them a bleed now. And beat him up a little bit more and say, yeah, idiot. Yeah, look for treasure. Said, I had that same dream. That I was supposed to go and search for a little church where there's a tree, and at the base of this tree is the treasure. And they left the boy. And it's at that point the boy got his realization and he started laughing. Because that same tree and that same church is where he started his journey as a farmer. Imagine that. The book went full 360. Back to the beginning. He went home and dig up the treasure and go back and pay the gypsy woman little money, and he went and met his wife in the desert. That is The Alchemist. Okay, to me this is a very deep book about perspective, having the balance to understand and to take time to listen to the surroundings and to read signs. It's about following your dream and you start to have the power of manifestation. It shows you that love could be the biggest and the greatest reward. It shows you that you must follow your dream, follow your purpose. Yeah, we've all got a purpose and we must go for it. If we don't continue to push forward for our purpose, we will never reach our goal at the end. It uses religion, it uses science, it uses all kinds of things and pulls it back into one big nutshell, like I said at the beginning, I have to say the writer's done a great job with what he's done with this book. It will give people inspiration to, you know, to keep on following their dreams no matter how many times they get knocked back. Yeah, I don't want to go on too much. I'm sure I said this about 10 times in the video so far. The video's over an hour long now. But yeah, I would like, you know, everybody to get the chance to read this book or to listen to the audio book and take it in for themselves. Very inspirational book. Definitely one that you must read once in your lifetime. Yeah, and let's bring on the next one. Thank you very much for taking time to join me, Rastibo, in the Alchemy Book Club. Books you must read once in a lifetime. Sign out.